The bell rang. Every child rushed in, except one. At the back of the room, a small boy named Eli stood frozen, staring at his desk like it was haunted. His teacher snapped, "Sit down, Eli." But he didn't. He just stood there, eyes wide, hands trembling, until the principal walked in, grabbed the classroom camera, and installed a new one pointing right at Eli's desk. And what they saw the next morning. No one in that school would ever be the same. It all started on a rainy Monday morning in a quiet Ohio town. 11-year-old Eli Johnson had transferred mid-semester after his mom relocated for work. A shy kid with oversized hand-me-downs and a quiet voice, Eli never caused trouble until the desk. Room 207, back left corner. That was assigned to him. The first time he stepped in, his body tensed. His eyes locked onto the desk like it was a threat. The teacher, Ms. Kilmer, noticed his hesitation but dismissed it. New kids always act weird, she told herself. But this wasn't ordinary. For 3 days straight, Eli stood during every lesson. Never sat, never explained. When asked, he'd mumble, "I'd rather stand." The class laughed. Teachers warned him. Notes were sent home, but Eli didn't budge. Principal Warren Harlow, a former Marine turned school administrator, didn't tolerate defiance. He stormed into the classroom on the 4th day, red-faced and ready to discipline. "What's going on here?" he barked. Eli stood silently, eyes on the desk. "You have 5 seconds to sit down, or you're going to detention." Still, nothing. Then Eli whispered, "Please, don't make me." Something about the way he said it, it wasn't attitude, it was fear. So Principal Harlow did something he hadn't done in 20 years. He paused. And then, he ordered a camera installed, pointed right at Eli's desk. The next morning, Principal Harlow sat in his office, black coffee in hand, eyes glued to the footage from room 207. It was 6:48 a.m. The building was still empty. But on the screen, movement. A janitor walked in. He was cleaning desks. All seemed normal until he got to Eli's desk. He stopped, looked around, then casually opened the desk lid and pulled something out, a small metallic object, a camera hidden inside Eli's desk. Harlow's mouth went dry. The janitor unscrewed the object, took out what looked like a micro SD card, slipped it in his pocket, and left. That wasn't just weird. That was criminal. But that wasn't the part that broke Harlow. Fast forward to 10:42 a.m. The kids were in class. Eli stood behind the desk as usual. Unbeknownst to anyone, the hidden desk camera, before it was removed, had already captured something horrifying the day before. Harlow pulled up older footage and watched. Eli had sat down during recess when no one was around, and that's when the desk moved. It jolted. Something snapped. Eli jumped up in terror. Harlow slowed the footage, and his blood ran cold. There was a sharp object, a metal spring, rusted and twisted, jutting up through the inside of the desk seat. It had stabbed Eli when he sat. The boy had flinched but never screamed, not once. The desk had literally injured him, and he never told. Why? Harlow called Eli into his office that afternoon. The boy looked down at his feet, barely speaking. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" Harlow asked gently. Eli shrugged, then murmured, "It's better if I don't complain. My mom says we can't make trouble, or she might lose her job." Tears welled up in Harlow's eyes. A kid that small, carrying fear that big. It hit him like a freight train. He called the janitor in. Within minutes, the man confessed. He had found the camera by accident weeks ago and had been spying on students, selling private footage online. Eli had spotted the lens poking out of the desk and feared something was wrong, but no one listened, so he just avoided sitting. And the one time he tried, it hurt him, physically, and no one saw, no one cared, until now. Harlow fired the janitor on the spot, but he didn't stop there. He ordered a complete audit of every desk, every camera, every janitorial record. He invited Eli's mother in, not to accuse, but to apologize. And then, he did something no one saw coming. He took Eli's hand, walked him back to room 207, and personally replaced the desk with a brand new, customized one, with a soft cushion and Eli's name engraved on a brass plate. The school held an assembly. Harlow stood on stage and said, "We failed one of our own, but we won't again." From that day on, Eli never had to stand alone again. In room 207, it became a place where silence was no longer ignored, and courage didn't have to hide behind fear. The end, based on stories that happen more often than we think.